Good morning. Happy Vlogmas Day 14. It's Monday, and this is actually my last official working Monday of the year. I'm sort of excited about that. I'm looking forward to some downtime through the holiday season, but I do have a good bit of work to do today. I'm still getting ready for Wednesday's shop update, which will be the last shop update of this year as well. I was just sitting at the computer starting to work on writing up the listings and everything. I did add my stripe to my sock today, so I'll put those pictures in here. I have not spun today. I didn't spin yesterday's fiber either. I figure I'm going to have more time to do spinning and then I can catch up. I'm also trying to avoid sitting and spinning on these kitchen chairs or dining room chairs right now because my lower back has really been bothering me, and I sort of think the amount of time I've been sitting in these chairs lately crafting is maybe partly to blame. They're not uncomfortable chairs, but for spinning I don't find it super comfortable, so I'm just giving my back a break. I've been sleeping on my heating pad the last couple of nights, which has felt good, but then once I'm up and around and moving a little bit it starts to hurt again. So yeah. Snowing this morning. When we woke up this morning, it was freezing rain. I didn't even know we were supposed to be getting snow today, but we apparently are, and the birds are quite happy out there at the feeders. I don't think we're supposed to get a lot. Bill said about an inch, although quite frankly, looking at what's on the railing now, it looks like maybe we've already gotten that inch. I don't know. Close anyway. Thankfully, Emma doesn't have to go into work until later today, although she does have to close, which means she'll be driving home. But hopefully the roads will be treated by then. That's one of the downsides of the mountain area here. You never quite know what you're going to get on the roads at this time of year. Our house is up at the top of a ridge also, so our weather tends to be a little dicier than places just like a mile down the road. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to finish doing my computer work, and then I'm going to write up show notes because I am going to record the regular podcast today, which I don't know, it might be the last regular podcast of 2020. I may try to squeeze one more in, maybe like that week between Christmas and New Year's. We'll see. By the way, so I'm wearing my Hedgewitch shawl, which you've seen me wear before, and a lot of times I wear it so that it's crossed over and tucked in behind me into my pants. It's, I'm sure, very attractive from that view, but it stays on that way because it's a pretty large shawl. But I've often thought how pretty this would be as a sweater texture, and even doing like a cross front sweater. I have to think about that. I wonder if I could manage to create something using this stitch pattern. I really enjoyed doing this stitch pattern. If you've never looked at the Hedgewitch pattern, the patterning that's on the front is actually worked from the wrong side. It was such an interesting pattern to do. I really enjoyed it. And this is out of speaking of Ridgetop, my Ridgetop yarn, my DK weight yarn. I think it was actually the first large thing I ever knit out of that yarn once I started carrying it. And I love it. I have another shawl in mind that I really want to make out of this yarn, but I don't have the color in stock. So I may dye myself up some just to do that particular shawl. I try to avoid doing that because I've got so much yarn anyway, but sometimes you really just want something in a particular color, and when you're a dyer, that's like a perk of being a dyer. You get to dye it for yourself. So we'll see, but that's not happening right now. Right now I'm going to do some work because it's still a work week. There's my magic tree across the lake. Right there. I was so busy taking pictures of the pretty snow down at the park and all distracted and happy that I almost missed my window of opportunity to get to the post office, which was my destination. Because our post office closes from noon to 1, and I made it with like 5 minutes to spare. So some special orders are in there and on their way to you, hopefully without taking too many strange detours, which seems to be what's going on with a lot of mail these days. I knew I was going to need to run out today because I had a prescription at our pharmacy, and I need to pick up some actual people-specific Christmas cards, like for my mom and my oldest son and things like that. But I hadn't been planning on doing extra running, but as it turned out, I had one package for a special order that was too large for me to process from the studio because I can only do packages up to 5 pounds. My scale. So I had to run up to the post office for that, so I just took the other packages I had and they're up there now. So now I'm heading to the pharmacy, and while I'm out and I'm over there, I'm going to run in Walmart, which is not where I want to go, but I need to pick up I have a few things on the grocery list, and I figure I'll just pick them up today since I'm going to be out, and then hopefully that will eliminate another trip later this week. I did just do a giant grocery shopping trip last week, which there's always those few things that you either forget or don't realize you need, so it's never ending. Okay, CVS took a little longer than it should have because I stand in front of the card section and overanalyze all of the cards. And half the cards I was buying today are for teenage boys in my life who are getting gift cards for Christmas, and that's probably the part that they're going to be most interested in, not the sentiment in their Christmas card. It's crazy. And yet I stood there and tried to figure that out. What was the best card for this particular teenage boy? Okay. Anyway, we're going to go to Walmart now. Just pulled into Walmart, but before I go in there, I have to like brace myself because I know it's going to be crazy in there. But I thought I wanted to tell you a story that I read this morning. So there's a neighborhood probably about an hour or so north of Pittsburgh. It's the Beaver Falls area. Anyways, I guess this has actually been on the news lately. Someone has been driving around in a van. It's a van like full of teenagers dressed like elves and reindeer at night, like when it's dark, and they're driving around. The van's playing Christmas music, and they're randomly going around and putting up 18-foot high inflatable snowmen in people's yards throughout this neighborhood. I guess this has been going on for a while now. It started with a house that had a big inflatable turkey around Thanksgiving, and they woke up the next morning to find that their turkey was taken down and replaced with a snowman. And the quote was really funny because the guy was like, well, yeah, it's kind of cool, but I hope I get my turkey back. Which I guess he did get his turkey back, but nobody knows who these teenagers are or why they're doing this or where the snowmen are coming from. There's speculation that maybe a local business is funding this and is behind it just to add some cheer. But at last count, there were 40 giant snowmen that have been stealthily put up in this neighborhood. The pictures, you can Google it. Google Beaver Falls van 18-foot snowmen, and you'll find a story about it with a picture at least, if not a video. It is so funny, and I just think it's amazing because everybody loves it. Like, so far, everybody's just been tickled about it. I mean, I'm not sure how I would feel if I woke up to an 18-foot snowman in my yard. I'm sure I would think it was funny too. But I just think it's so cool. Like, somebody is doing something really cool and spreading joy this holiday season, and that is awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna go into Walmart where it will not be quite as joyful and awesome, but hopefully I can get in and out really quick because I only need a few things, so fingers crossed. 8 things on the list, yet this is the card. It's impossible. 8 things on my list. 8 items. And I came out with 6 bags of groceries, including 4 of my big reusable grocery bags. That's just nuts. There's something about these kind of stores that, like, you go in there and it's like, oh, I need that. Oh, I need that. Oh, I could use that. Oh. And even though, yeah, you can, you maybe don't necessarily need it right now. But then my brain is like, you don't want to have to go shopping again for a long time. Except that's what my brain said last week too. And then it was what it said the week before. And yet here I am, 3rd week in a row. Although thankfully, dollar-wise, this was a smaller shopping trip than last week, thankfully. Okay, I'm making one more stop since I'm over at this part of town, and that is the booze store. Which could be dangerous. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to pick up a bottle of wine for my daughter for Christmas because she likes wine. So that's really all I need in there, I think. Okay, got wine. I picked up a couple of little packs of Baileys because it's Irish coffee season and I'm out of Baileys. There was a woman in there who was like, I was here last week and I bought the wrong thing. Am I able to exchange it? And the guy was like, I'm sorry, we can't do that right now because of the pandemic. We're not taking exchanges or returns. And I'm thinking, honey, just drink it. It's okay. Like, it's the pandemic. Just drink it even if it wasn't the right thing. Oh my gosh, I'm such a lush. I'm not, but I just found that sort of amusing. Okay, I'm going home now. I'm packing these groceries, eating something because I'm starving. And then I need to do the podcast. That's next on my agenda. So you may not see me again until after I record the podcast. I've been gone for a couple of hours and it's definitely warmed up since I left by a little bit. It's like 37 now. But I wanted to try to show you just how different the weather can be down here at the bottom of the hill versus up at the top of the ridge where we live. So I'm going to just film this and I'm probably going to speed it up. And we'll see how much the landscape changes as far as snow. Because there's nothing here right now. Here it begins. You can see it now. Like halfway up the hill. Can you see it on the trees? I'm not looking at my camera, so I don't know what you can see. We are Winter Wonderland. It is so crazy how different it is. It doesn't really look like anything much has melted out here. This is my road. It doesn't look very different than it was whenever I left a couple of hours ago. The roads are clear and they've been treated, so that's good. You can't really see it right now because it's a little foggy over there, but to about, if you look at like, I don't know, well, you can't see it now, but just off center to the left over on the hill is a ski resort. And when it's clear, you can actually see some of the ski slopes, the North Face ski slopes. You can actually see them from our backyard too. I don't ski, it's not very exciting to me to be that close to a ski resort, but actually we have a couple right around here. And I'm going to hop out and get the mail.